What's going on, guys? It's Gibby, and today I have a super exciting announcement for you. For the very first time, we're going to be streaming an Ironman here. A little bit of context, though, for you. I have never played an Ironman before. In fact, I've only played RuneScape for about 3 months over on our main. We actually streamed it from the very beginning, from free to play to members. We made it up to about Jad, which we did melee, which was pretty cool. Awesome first kill. But one complaint that I kind of got a lot was that a lot of the GP and the gear that we were gifted, a lot of people felt that that diminished the experience from having earned it yourself. A lot of people were very generous and gifted those items to me, but I kind of took a lot of that criticism to heart, and I really wanted to try to understand, is hardcore the premier experience with RuneScape? So I'm really excited to start this character. I'm hoping to make this a weekly video series where we just kind of go over our entire journey for the week. This video, though, was just the very first 3 hours that we had in hardcore. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Again, I'm not following any kind of guide right now. This is just my initial first 3 hours in there. So if you guys enjoy this kind of video series, please leave a comment in the section below. Just let me know what you guys think. And if you enjoy the video, please leave a like or subscribe if you are so inclined. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Starting off my journey, I went ahead and created my character, bonded up, and was set off to explore in Lumbridge. Not really knowing what to do first, like any good scaper, I decided to run across the bridge and just start killing some goblins. And this is kind of where I quickly realized, yeah, especially coming from my main, I don't do any damage anymore. Also, might have had a bit of beef with a cow, you know, because beef and cows. Anyway. After slaying some more goblins, chat recommended to me that I should just go ahead and do the waterfall quest ASAP. From what I had heard, it's one of the best early game quests to do. Easy enough, right? So I decided to go ahead and leg it over to Backstorian Falls to start it. And here starts our very first problem. Actually getting there. Quickly realizing I ran out of stamina as fast as when I tried to go up a flight of stairs, we slowly began to follow the marker to the waterfall. On the way, we crossed a barbarian village, a nice town, and some friendly wolves. Actually, no, they weren't friendly. Not at all. And with my basically non-existent stamina, I tried to helplessly outrun the wolves. It didn't end well. And here marks my first death of probably, definitely, many. After having a nice chat with Death, we're off again to attempt to reach the waterfall. This time, I tried my best to find a way around the mountain, but it turns out you basically can't go around either the north or the south. A bit of a side note here, I did find out later you can go all the way around, but I didn't know that at the time of filming this. I also got randomly pulled into some mini game where you get to claw hook a woman. That was pretty interesting. After it turns out that chat suggested you just head to Remington to take a boat to Ardone instead, turns out, yeah, that was much faster. I speak to Captain Barnaby, head across the sea, and finally arrive at the waterfall. After scaling the mountainside, we reach the summit and talk to Almera to begin the quest. The quest recommends that I should be at least level 25, but nah, no one's got time for that. I jump on the closest raft that I see and set sail down the stream. Also, another side note here, now is a good time to remember that you should probably look at the quest log before to see what items you need, because yeah, we forgot the rope. So no choice left now but to drown ourselves and be thrown off the mountain. Luckily, wasn't so bad. We needed a book anyway to continue the quest, so I went ahead and grabbed it, got my reading material, and proceeded to the next part. After another slow walk to the gnome village, we now need to quickly run to the maze and collect a key. Easy enough, right? Well, no. Turns out when you have fresh level 1 stats, no food items, and basically running out of breath every 10 seconds, it doesn't end well when enemies see you. I actually made it all the way through to grab the key needed for the quest, but shortly received my second dose of death in the dark caves. Arriving back at Lumbridge, I decided it'd be best for us to maybe level up a bit before trying to venture back out. After punching a few goblins back into oblivion, I get a sweet spear and save a poor shop owner from a goblin invading his shop. No questions asked, I say. At this point, my chat begins to ask me why I haven't just gotten an Ironman armor set. I said, what? An Ironman set of what? It's been an hour, and I just learned there's a free set of armor you can pick up from the Ironman tutor. I may have basically achieved nothing in an hour, but hey, at least I now look pretty darn good. Now that we have a spear and armor, now is the time to start training up those combat skills. I head over across the bridge and start slaying some goblins to make enough GP to take another boat ride. Also, having some healing probably wouldn't hurt, so I run back over to Draenor to cook up some shrimps. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I totally didn't burn any. Nailed it. No, I burnt them all. Now that we got food, I figured now would be a good time to actually get all the quest items we need before heading back to the waterfall quest. So, we slowly walk all the way over to Varrock and try to learn how to read a minimap to find the rune shop. Sadly, the shop owner doesn't really like dealing with promise to pay notes, so it looks like we actually have to make some more money to get the runes we need. I decided that the goblins can make some decent early GP, so went back to Lumbridge. You might as well call me the Goblin Slayer at this point, because as fast as they spawned into existence, I took them out of it. At first it was just to grab some GP and items, but happened to take a look at the loot table and found something amazing. 1 out of 128. 1 out of 128 chance to acquire the Bronze Scimitar. At this point, I became fixated on ending the entire Goblin bloodline in order to acquire this coveted weapon. I mean, nothing against the spear, but a scimitar is pretty freaking sweet. So now the first real grind of our Iron Man begins. So we slay one, and then another, and another, and another, and about 100 after that. So after an hour goes by of gobbling up these drops, there was still no scimitar in sight. That's when one of my viewers runs up to me and just says, "Hey, follow me." So I'm like, okay, sure. Turns out that you just can walk up to a guard, pay him 10 GP, walk east for a minute, and there's a vendor that literally just sells them. Well, my bad. After having accepted that I was an idiot for not actually bothering to look that up, I buy the Bronze Scimitar and victoriously pay my next GP to go back and start trying out my new weapon. Although now we have a slight problem. That hour that I just spent killing goblins, I leveled up too much, and now I can actually wield the iron scimitars, not the bronze. So after realizing I was just way too focused on buying the bronze one that I was trying to get a drop from, and totally wasted my already limited GP, I paid another 10 GP to the guard, proceeded to walk back, grabbed the iron version, went the other direction, and paid my GP again. I ended up calling it there for the day, but in summary, after 3 hours, we ended up dying twice and getting an iron scimitar. Hooray for progress. I hope you guys had just as much fun watching the video as I had making it. Please be sure to subscribe for part 2 coming out next week, where we finally tackle the waterfall quest and maybe a few other skills along the way. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video.